It's Willie and Carla with Welcome to Celebrity Big Brother Adventure.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Long time no chat. We didn't make a video last week.
No, we were lazy.
Well, we were busy. That's
Busy,
a good thing.
yes.
Busy. We couldn't coordinate our schedules, and I actually got sick, and you've just been cranking it. So
Yeah.
But yeah, so we want to do a quick recap. We're going to refer to Jokers because we both love Jokers updates to kind of catch up and kind of go over everything that's happened. I mean, we've been on a roller coaster ride in this short week and a half.
Yes. So much to cover, so we're going to simplify it down for everyone.
Yes.
Then give you a little bit of some spoilers and some predictions.
Yeah, so when's the finale? In a week?
I think in a week and a half, something like that.
Something like
it's
that.
Coming up quick.
Very quick season. And that throws me off because I'm used to a week in HOH each week, and that's like every 2 or 3 days.
Yes.
So, all right, so let's talk about the first twist that you and I both agreed that we did not care for, and that is the fake player of...
the Mooch.
The Mooch. Anthony Scaramucci was technically not a player. He was kind of in there as a plant or a
filler. I'd like to have seen how it would have happened if he did win HOH that week. How that would have changed the whole twist.
It's kind of weird.
That would have changed the whole game.
Because he was on a team. That first HOH was a team. So, I mean, he threw it.
Yeah.
So whoever was with him on a team. That being said, they did something they've never done before, and that was 2 POVs in one HOH session, which is why we were all confused.
Yeah.
We were trying to figure out what was going on. Even being on live feeder, it was kind of hard to tell. This cast is not very chatty about what's happened.
No. And if you're not watching the feeds, you're missing out on the drama that's going on inside the house.
They are not showing a fraction of all the flip. This is the season of what I like to call the flip-flop.
Yeah.
Nobody is loyal to anybody, with the exception of Tom and Kato and Natalie and Lolo.
Yeah.
That's about it.
And Ryan and Jonathan.
Yeah.
Their short little stay.
Yeah, their short little stay. Okay, so let's talk about Anthony. Obviously was gone, the Mooch, and because of that, they played a second POV, and that took out. I'm trying to look at our notes here. Jonathan.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Jonathan, who was my top pick to win. I was not happy with that at all.
Yeah, he was in my top 4. It's okay. I still got a couple in the house.
Yeah, there was a lot that happened with a lot of that. I think he was a pawn that, as we all know, the pawns always go home.
Of course.
And we have that experience.
And when you come out starting with guns blazing, playing the game real hard, it's going to happen.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And I really thought he'd last a little bit longer, not being that typical jock guy. But, with all that, he's gone. He's gone. So our second HOH was won by none other than Kato.
Mm-hmm.
So Kato wins HOH after Jonathan goes home. And at that point, Tom and Kato pretty much had solidified their alliance at that point.
Yeah.
They were a duo for sure. And they put up Dina and Tamar.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so Tom won the POV. It's his buddy. So they had total control at that point.
Yeah.
Total control. It started going to their head. Big time.
Overthinking.
Yeah. So then Tom took down Dina because they kind of had... Dina's kind of riding the rails on both sides.
She's floating it a little bit.
Yeah,
and she's playing it safe, which I think for her is a smart move. But definitely it's getting down to the buttons. So you need to go ahead and pick a side.
So Ryan was backdoored. Dina was taken down. Ryan was put up and evicted 6-1. So he was gone. Then another HOH takes place, and none other than Tom wins. So again, their rule continued.
Yep.
So Tom wins, and he has a plan, which kind of changed during that week, but he nominated Joey and Candy, who were kind of in their alliance at the time, which totally confused Candy.
Trying to figure out who had that power that was won.
Oh, one thing I didn't mention. In that time frame, there was the power of the publicist.
Yes.
Was announced, which was a secret power.
Right.
And America voted, and they gave it to Tamar,
Mm-hmm.
which shocked me. I thought Candy would win it for some reason. Who did you think would win
I
it?
really thought, well, Jonathan would have got it if he was still in the house,
I
guaranteed.
think so, because he had that
I
younger
was
vibe.
really thinking between Candy and Joey. So, I mean, yeah. I mean, those two people, because Joey, well,
Yeah. Well,
you know.
Candy has such a huge social media following.
Yeah.
So I was kind of shocked. I'd love to have seen the numbers on that, how close, in fact, they actually were. And sometimes they will do that. This time they didn't. So Tamar had the secret power at that point, and Tom had won HOH.
Nominations stayed the same, and
Because who won? The POV was played, and Natalie won. She won the power of veto. And there had been some talk on the feeds early in the morning to possibly put up, at one point they were talking Ricky.
Ricky. Mm-hmm.
And they also had talked to either Natalie or Lolo, but Natalie had won the POV, so that took her out of he was kind of hinting at Lolo a little bit.
Yeah, and see, that's why you don't, if you're not comfortable with the team that you are with, you do not talk about backdooring a teammate, because then the word gets around and the drama starts, and then you're outed, and then your plan goes to crap.
Exactly, because the first thing when they approached Natalie and Lolo about backdooring Ricky, the first thing they did was run to Ricky.
Yep, they
And
would.
then Ricky about lost
And what did Ricky do last time when they were talking about backdooring Lolo? He ran right to Lolo. So, I mean, if that tells you anything right there.
Well, that's exactly what she said.
Exactly.
She felt compelled to tell him because he had protected her. So she in turn did that for him. So in that case, you had their alliance up here, but then you had these sub-alliances that were forming, and that's how they decided to get back at Tom, because at that point their trust in Tom, which meant that foursome was breaking.
Mm-hmm. Again, another power group broken down.
So they broke off and teamed up with some of the others in the house and decided not to use the power of veto, keeping the noms the same. So then the next one out was Joey.
Yep.
And it between Joey and Candy, it was going to be Candy for a while, and then they decided to take Joey out.
Yeah, that would have been, that's the smartest move. He's a great player, so of course.
He's well loved,
Yeah.
too. I mean, Candy's, well, that's a hard call, because Candy's got a huge following, too.
Yeah, I don't think they're thinking that much on the following. I think they're thinking of who's going to get the votes.
At the end.
Yeah, when it boils down to it. Because, I mean, probably, you know, what I'm thinking is fan favorite Jonathan may get the fan favorite
Even
at
though
the
it wasn't
end.
there that
Yeah,
long.
exactly. But, again, it could be Joey or it could be Candy.
With Tom, power went to Tom and Kato's head at this point. Paranoia set in on Tom, like there was no tomorrow. I don't know if you saw in the feeds, but he was like, Natalie and Lolo were like, you need to chill out. You know, you're freaking out over nothing. So
Paranoia is contagious.
It is, and it's set in. So then Joey went home.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had another another HOH, and kind of a shocker at who won the next one was
Tamar, yeah.
She pulled it out. The girl can play.
Mm-hmm. She did it right.
She did. So she won HOH, and she nominated Tom and
Joey.
Tom and Kato.
Kato, yeah.
Tom and Kato. She was going after them. At this point in the game, Tamar was kind of hooking up with a little bit of Natalie and Lolo, but secretly Dina and Candy.
Mm-hmm.
Because there were times in the middle of the night, I'm talking way early in the morning, because they're 3 hours behind. When I would get up in the morning at 5, it's 2 o'clock their time, and at one point they were thinking, they were flip-flopping back and forth on who to get rid of and what to do. And with Lolo and Natalie, she was saying one thing, but with Dina and Candy, they were saying another thing.
It's hard to tell with some of these people. I mean, they're all actors and actresses, and
Right.
you know.
So then they had another POV, and Lolo showing the hardcore competitor that she is. She won.
Mm-hmm.
She won and did not use the POV. POV is not being used that much this season. And so Kato was evicted. Shocker, because Tom really thought he was going home.
Yeah.
They went back and forth on who to get rid of. Because at certain things, Kato was the mastermind, but then other things, Tom was the mastermind.
But in the end, it's a lot of people think of who's well liked in the house. So
And I think Kato was
Kato
more
outruled
socially
that.
accepted at that point. But I think one reason they kind of kept Tom is that he was paranoia, and they thought paranoia would get the best of him, I think.
Yeah.
And Cato was actually a better competitor on certain things.
Yeah.
Because he held on to that wall for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but it's all about those deals you make.
Yep. So, Cato was evicted last night, 5-0 vote. Shocker, we knew it was going to be 5-0. We just didn't know whether it was going to be Tom or Cato. So that kind of catches us up very quickly on what's happened in the past. That's a lot in a week and a half.
Yeah, that's a lot.
A lot. So, if you don't want any spoilers, you might want to wait.
Go
because
ahead and turn off that stuff.
I was watching the feeds earlier this morning, and I just filled you in as to what
Yes.
happened because you didn't know.
Big
So,
game changer.
The HOH was held last night after the show. One thing that I do want to say is if you are a live feeder, certain competitions they've allowed us to see after the show airs, they'll have the HOH if it's not on the live show. And this one was blacked out, so you had to wait for the feeds to come back. And they did. And drum roll. Tom won HOH. That surprised me. So I don't know what the competition was at this point. We won't find out till the next show. But he did win. So I'm curious to who you think he's going to nominate because at this point we don't know. We haven't had the nomination ceremony.
But I think, personally, I think Tom, Candy, Tamar, and Dina just need to work together. Get that Power 4, make that alliance happen, and I think they should be good because that would be 4 against 3 and get the others out.
I know Tom's probably going to want to go after Ricky because Ricky had said flat out that he was going after Tom or Cato. Whoever stayed, he was gunning for either one of them, whichever one. So I kind of think these 3 are going together. Lolo, Natalie, and Ricky are kind of one-sided. There's 7 left in the house, right?
Yeah.
And Tamar, Candy, and Dina definitely have solidified something.
And I think Dina's been doing real well with just floating along in the house, playing it low-key. A lot of people were gunning to get her out at first, but now I think she's going to make it a little bit longer than what she was anticipating herself.
She stayed in that competition last night a little longer than I expected. Who did it come down to? In the POV.
The POV.
It was a Q&A.
The true or false. It came down to, it was Lolo.
And Tamar was late, wasn't she?
I think so.
Can't remember. I think Dina was out.
Yeah.
So, Tom. So, who do you think he's going to put up? Make our predictions.
I think he's going to gun for the big 3, Lolo, Natalie, or Ricky. And I really honestly feel that he should do Lolo and Ricky, try and get one of the athletes out first. Yeah. Then turn around. If it doesn't work and someone takes himself off, then go ahead and stick Natalie up on there.
This is kind of basically his third HOH because you consider
Cato
and him together. So this is definitely his second, but possibly his third HOH. The other ones, they put a pawn up, 2 pawns, in that back door. I mean, that just did not work for him. He wasn't able to use the back door. So at this point, he needs, like you said, he needs to put one of these 3 up there, and then whoever comes down, replace them with the other, unless they win that.
I would keep those other 3, Dina, Candy, and Tamar.
Because then he'll have the
pawns.
numbers. He'll have the numbers to take out whoever he wants. The numbers are on his side. The numbers have been on his side a lot of other times, but he has shot himself in the foot.
Yeah, and campaigning. Like no one's been campaigning to save their own game either. I haven't seen any of that, but I haven't paid attention to the live feeds as much either.
I've been watching the feeds, and I think a lot of it comes down to timing, and they don't have a lot of time to do a lot of that sneaky chatting because there's been a couple times people have been in the HOH room and somebody comes up and it destroys that whole flow of their conversation, and then they don't get back on track on where they were headed because as you're watching them talk and they're working through things, they're working through scenarios, and they've just about got it to where it's a good scenario, and it gets blown because they get interrupted. So and I just think time has worked against them because they don't have it. They've talked about how bored they are, but they don't have a clue what a typical season is. It's 3 times as long. I mean,
and I think this one's shorter than the previous one, isn't it?
It might be by a couple days.
Because they're cramming it in there.
They are. So we will find out a little bit later today. So who he nominates. They may have already done it. I haven't checked. Usually it's in the evening. Later.
Yeah, we'll find out later on today.
A little bit later. So let's revise our finals.
So
originally I had picked Jonathan and Candy. Candy's still there. Jonathan's gone. You had narrowed it down to 4.
Yeah, I narrowed it down to 4, and unfortunately 2 out of the 4 are gone, but hey, that's still good. I'm still on the run with 2. I still think Tom, he can definitely, if he reels it in a little bit, he can make it to the end, and I think Candy can too. But really, that final 4 that I'm seeing, I'm hoping Dina, Tamar, Candy, and Tom all just work together, make it a solid final 4, and just knock out the remainders.
Right.
As much as I like Lolo and Natalie, unfortunately, they weren't my top picks to begin with because I didn't know them. But I grew to love them a little bit more since watching the season.
And I really thought Tamar was going to be the first to go. I really did. I thought her attitude and her...
the provoking of the fight.
That she had no filter. At least what little bit I knew about her at that point. I really thought that she was going to be the first one out, or Dina because of age. We talked about that. But she's kicking it. Dina has held her own.
She's still there.
She's playing it. I mean, there's no denying it takes skill to be that low rider and not be caught up in a lot of the drama because she's been on the block a couple times.
Yeah.
So, but it's time to start making game moves. And earning the jury votes. And it's all about jury management. And they have not been considering jury management at all.
They've just been going for heavy hitters the whole time. And so when you go for the heavy hitters, you might
I think Joey was kind of doing a little bit of jury management, but now he's gone. Tamar has kind of been doing a little bit with jury management because she's been floating between the conversations she's having between the 2 and 2. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. So I'm not a big Tom fan, but just because his paranoia gets the best of him. But I still like Candy, even though she doesn't seem to be playing. She's playing it on a certain level, and so at this point, it's hard for me to predict. I could see it coming down to the top 3: Candy, Tamar. I'd like to see Candy, Tamar, and Dina, actually.
Yeah. I have a feeling Natalie's going to be in there.
One of these guys has got to be in there.
Natalie or Lolo is going to end up staying in there. But I think Dina has a chance if she just, plays her game right and doesn't step on toes.
Yeah, she's going to have to step up her competition a little bit. But I think Tamar is more of a comp beast than I ever expected. She's got it in her, even though she could not do that haunted house. The haunted house, that was a good comp. Those kind of comps I like because no matter what your skill set is, it was all about your mind and ignoring all that craziness. I mean, that's easier said as we're watching it versus being in there with people jumping on you, and I don't think they can see very well in there. So okay, well, I guess I'm still gonna keep Candy up there, and a second. I'm going to do a top 3. Candy, Tamar, Tom's HOH. See, they're hinting at a double this week, aren't they?
A double's coming soon.
Yeah, it should be this week. Candy, Tamar, and...
Go and say it.
Natty or Lolo, one of them, I think. One of them's dropped in there.
Yeah.
I think Natalie has... It's hard. They're both... I'm going to say Lolo. Tamar, Candy, and Lolo, even though I would like to see Dina in there just because she's been working it. So, but I think Tom's paranoia is going to get the best of him, and he's not going to be able to bounce back. I think Ricky and Tom are going to go up against each other and take each other out.
Yeah.
But who knows? So, anything else? Any other predictions you got?
No, I think that's about it.
So we'll have to see who he nominates later today, and then they'll have the POV, and then figure out what he wants to do. I haven't been able to watch the feeds much since early this morning, so I don't know what he's thinking.
I'm excited to go home and see what's going on.
Yes, gets back to the live feed. So hopefully there won't be as big a gap between this video and our next. We'll have to check our schedules maybe later this week.
Yeah. Maybe squeeze something in this weekend for y'all.
Yes. So, so that's where we're going to leave it with. Again, Tom is the HOH. And let us know what your predictions are, because this is This is a crazy roller coaster ride with celebrity Big Brother. And also wanted to let you know, since you have never watched the Canada version, that starts March 6th. So yes, I'm a Big Brother fanatic, so I'm gonna see if I can get him set up. I'm watching.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Canada Big Brother. Their feeds are free.
Okay.
They're free, but you have to do a couple special things to get them. So I'll have to tune them in. So yes. So leave us some comments. Let us know what you think. I know there's been quite a couple people in my office have been stopping me talking about Big Brother and watching our videos. So it's kind of fun. So stay tuned, guys. We'll hopefully see you in the next couple of days, and we'll see you.
Thank you.
We're done. Bye, guys.
Bye.